Turbo Tin Tops qualifying. In terms of drivers to watch for this one, Niall Bradley, car number 47 in his BMW M3 E46. He went very, very quickly in Britcar yesterday. He's out in Britcar again today, but also at Donington Park for the CSCC Derby race meeting on the 23rd and 24th of March this year. He finished second overall, only behind car number 13. That was Tom Walpole, and I can't see him out this weekend, so he's got to be one to watch. If you have picked yourself up a programme, you need to be on one of the further pages towards the back of the programme. Page number 64 and 65 will bring you all of the information for the WOSP New Millennium and Turbo Tin Tops. If you haven't picked up a programme, of course there is the circuit shop on the outside of Turn 1, and I'm sure there are a number of other outlets where you'll be able to pick up a programme. It's full of all kinds of information and all of the events and goings on here this weekend and over future weekends as well. The drivers to look out for, absolutely everything that you may need in that programme, so I do beg you to pick one up for only £8, but for the amount of information you get in there, it is well and truly worth it. In terms of amendments that we've got, we have quite a few. In terms of deletions, unfortunately, we've lost a few drivers. Car number 57, Barry McMahon, he was a reserve. He won't be here. Car number 98, Mark Wyatt, he's fallen away as well. Car 12, Chris Petch, he was a reserve and won't be attending. Car number 17, Christian Douglas, isn't here either. Car number 132, Adrian Matthews. Car number 18, Ashley Muldoon. Car number 36 being Mark Smith. Car number 612, Adrian Bradley. Car number 35, Luke Yeamans, he was a reserve, he isn't here. Car number 129, Tommy Grout. Car number 127 for Rose Moria. Car number 2, that was Stephen Warner and Martin Tite. And car number 7, Toby Harris and Lisa Selby. Unfortunately, they won't be attending. However, we do have a few additions to be made. Car number 104, that will be a Porsche Cayman S in the hands of Brian Richardson. Car number treble 6, that's Vikram Sudera, he will be in a Porsche Cayman S. And the final one to add in, car number 155, that's Sholto Dealing, he will be in a BMW M3 E36. And we've got some second drivers to add as well. Car number 128, that will be Tim Speed, he will be joining up with Paul Winter, pardon me, in his Porsche 996 GT3 Cup car. And car number 193, previously it was just Richard Mitchell in that Mini Cooper SR56. He will now be joined by John Harrison. So that's just a brief run through a few amendments to be made. In the early stages of the session, we do have some times being posted. The driver at the top of the times, quite comfortably, is car number 96. That is Aaron Cook and Alistair Topley. We've got it down as Aaron Cook, but it may well be Alistair Topley behind the wheel of that Ginetta G55 with a 1 minute 36.384, well and truly at the top, 2.7 seconds clear of car number 147. However, I don't have that on my entry list, annoyingly. I'm just looking through the amendments and I can't spot it there. Mark, you might be able to hopefully shed some light on that one in a little while. Car number 147. I've got no names and not on the entry list, unfortunately. Can't find them on the amendments. However, Peter Selden, car number 15 in his BMW M2 GTR. We saw it out in Britcar. And it's currently out there at the moment, 1 minute 40.235. So that's a very early time posted, but a very quick time nevertheless. So a good lap from Peter Felden. Ollie Fawler's going well as well in the 1 minute 42 with a 1 minute 42.082. That puts him provisional P4. Standout car for me, just by looking out there purely on something you don't see very often, is Josh Brooks, car number 38. It's sort of grey with day-glow orange flashes, the Toyota Starlet. I really, really do like that one, purely because you don't see too many of those at all. And of course, James Rose in his Vauxhall VX220. That's a very, very pretty car indeed. It looks like we've got Gabriel Yilmaz, Metin and Gabriel Yilmaz down in the pit lane for our RSR Sport Classic Racing, an early call for them. And what have we got in regards to changes? We've had somebody jump up the order. That's Paul Cook in his BMW M3 E46. He's pushed himself right the way towards the top of the order. And we may have... No, that's just a slow-mo replay, I think. Car number 27, Paul Cook. We said he was pushing hard. We said he's worked his way up through the order, and it's clear to see why. He was rather sideways, but got the moments all collected up on the way through Sheens, and he's pushing very hard. Sideways again on the exit of Stirling's, pushing so hard is Paul Cook, and it's clearly working for him. We've then got the bright yellow Vauxhall VX220, here, that being James Rose. He's just working his way onto the Dunlop straight, pushing for more time at the moment is James Rose. Whereabouts is he? He's currently sat there 8th overall, 1 minute 46.632, 10 seconds away from the pole time, which is still going the way of car number 96. and Aaron Cook and Alistair Topley. However, only 1/10 away is car number 147. We're still trying to figure out exactly who that is. We'll wait and see until they go past us, and hopefully we can shed some light on that one for you. Unfortunately, we did see them towards the start of the year in turbo tin tops. I believe it was in, it may have been New Millennium, apologies. That being, yeah, New Millennium. We had Josh Files and Cameron Elder out in a very quick Honda Civic Type R. They've gone on to another series or another championship for the rest of the season, I believe. But that car went very, very well at Donington Park. Unfortunately, we haven't got them out with us this weekend. We've had a big jump up the order from car 231. James Wilson, Peugeot, in his Peugeot 206 GTI. He's been racing that Peugeot for a number of years now and just seems to be getting quicker and quicker and quicker. Another jump up the order, that's from Jonathan Strickland in his BMW M3 E46. Again, right the way up through the order, was finding drivers in the mid-pack, maybe struggling for a bit of clear track. All of a sudden, they get that clear track, they get their clean lap, and right the way to the top of the times mark.
Yeah, the 147 car, I actually haven't seen it go back past us yet, but I would imagine it is going to be the car of, he says padding for time because he can't remember the name of it. It will be, where is it? It won't be Matt Rowling, it will be the BMW we had out yesterday, Ronan Bradley.
Ronan Bradley, I thought he was one of the ones withdrawn, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, I thought that as well, but that's the only thing I can do. But I haven't spotted the car. Haven't spotted the car going round. So as soon as I see it, it might offer up a possibility. So we'll have to wait and see as to whom it may be. So topping the times at the moment is the number 96 car, the Aaron Cook and Alistair Topley Jetta G55, the Jetta Conversions car. I saw that car this morning in the paddock, and it really did look superbly well prepared, didn't it, at this stage? We've also got the slightly older Jetta G50 out as well, in the hands of the father and son pairing, Jack Severs, who is partnered up with his father, Andre Severs, who used to race Formula Vs many, many, many years ago. Andre was one of the drivers to beat in the Formula V Championship for the Volkswagen Beetle-engined little single-seater cars. So where are they at the moment? They will be 6th quickest at the wheel of the Jetta G50, which had been up for sale over the winter, so whether they sort of didn't either get as much interest as they wanted or people weren't offering the money that they wanted, but it's a very quick, it's a very well-developed car, that Jetta G50, and of course is a car that used to feature in GT4 racing, didn't it? It was a GT4 compliant car back in the day, and actually won British GT championships. The likes of Christian Dick was a GT4 champion in a very similar Jetta G50 before it was outdated by the G55, which now has been replaced by the G56.
Yeah, Jetta just, they've done it since very early on. They've produced some very, very quick race cars and very competitive race cars as well, and yeah, it's great to see that they are still competitive, and obviously they race all around Europe. They might not be factory backed and with everything from factory anymore, but it's great to see that teams and drivers and families, as we've seen, take them on and then push them on ever further. See, I've just seen what I thought was Niall Bradley going over the line.
It's Niall Bradley, yeah. It is
Niall Bradley.
It's Niall Bradley,
so
number 147.
He was down as 47, add a 1 next to that, and you end up with Niall Bradley. I think that initial number change was made for Britcar, and he's just, yeah, kept the 1 on there. So 147 of Niall Bradley it is. I said you've got to keep an eye out on him. Went very, very well at Donington Park in March at the start of this year, finishing 2nd overall, only behind Tom Walpole. It's a shame we've not got Tom here, and he's incredibly quick. Ariel Atom.
It is, yeah, very quick. Tom Walpole. Christian Douglas was in the Atom, wasn't he, at Donington? And Tom Walpole was in his quick one. Christian Douglas, I think, was originally on the entry list in his Atom, but isn't here. But Tom Walpole, yeah, he claimed the win, didn't he, at Donington Park earlier on. Keeping an eye on what James Jono is doing at the wheel of his Renault Clio. We'll see plenty of Renault Clios out in the Rover Britcar Trophy Championship race that we've got coming up for you later on today. The number 68 Renault Clio in the hands of James, who's been racing this car for a good period of time. He's just about to thread his way over the start-finish line. He's 20th quickest at the moment, so over the start-finish line he goes. Does he go any quicker? No, he doesn't. He was a shade slower on that line. His best is a 149.9. That was a 150.2, so about 0.3 of a second slower, but consistent, and that's what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he is pushing for that time because he was heading through Paddock Hill Bend, flicked the car in and thought, yep, I've absolutely nailed that. Realised the gravel trap was coming up rather quickly, so a quick dab of the brakes just to apply some more weight onto that front axle, get the car turned in. And this is one of the brilliant things about the Classic Sports Car Club and the Turbo Tin Tops. You can get these Clio Cup cars that have raced potentially in Clio Cup GB when that was running the Gen 4 cars, and whilst they may have been outdated and updated, we're now of course on the Gen 5, they are still more than eligible for the turbo tin top. So it really does make for some very, very close racing as well from all categories, potentially around the world as well. Carl Chambers, definitely one to watch. That Peugeot just seems to be getting quicker and quicker and quicker the longer he spends in that one, the 208 GTI. So let's see what he can do coming towards the line. Whereabouts is Carl Chambers at the moment? Currently sat 15th overall on a 1:47.715. Does he improve that time through? No, a 48.264. I think that was slightly compromised that time by Carl Chambers. But again, because of the capacity grid, which not only here at Brands Hatch we've seen all weekend, but the Classic Sports Car Club we seem to see consistently throughout the year, again, clear track, he's at a premium.
Yeah, very much so, yeah. Such a colossal grid of cars attempting to qualify. What have we got in total? That's 35 on that screen, and if we flick this screen back to the page that it now needs to be on, because we're on page 5, which was the pit stop times, if we go to page 2, that should pick up the second batch of cars. So what have we got? 37 cars, 38, 39 cars potentially trying to qualify. So a very, very full grid indeed. The one thing that's not as easy with Swiss Timing to pick out, that's not being derogatory to them, is that it's very difficult to pick out who is the leader of the turbo tin tops compared to who's the leader of the new Millennium, because all we see is all of the classes, but don't see which category they fit into.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it's so easy to pick up the times and the speed traps as well, which is great to see that we've got this weekend. And you can almost pick out which cars are quick in a straight line and the cars that are not so quick. Paul Cook in his BMW M3 E46 going fastest overall through the speed trap that time. So we are starting to see more and more cars push harder and harder. Towards the line comes Wilson once again. Do we see an improvement from James Wilson in his Peugeot 206? Whereabouts was he prior to that? I thought he was a bit higher up through the order, and I can't see him in. So there he is. Car number 30, or in 13th place, 1:46.311. Didn't improve that time, but looking at it, yeah, I'm guessing that was either a warm-up lap, a cool-down lap, or we were slightly compromised.
Yeah, so we'll see whether he can press on. Still time. There's 3 minutes still to go. Over the start-finish line comes the pole-sitting Ginetta, being chased around by John Strickland, that is, isn't it? The wheel of number 6 BMW, who is 12th quickest in this session. The lap time that John just did was a fair way short of his previous best, about 8 seconds shy of his previous best. So if he can stick on the coattails of that Ginetta, which is on provisional pole position, he could be on for a good run.
Yeah, I'm thinking 9.9 seconds away for John. I think there's a lot more to come from that BMW. I don't know whether he's just in the early stages of his session, but with 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go, he's really got to sort of pull his socks up and go for it.
So up towards the braking area at the end of the lap comes the number 147 car, I think that is, which is, oh, it's now, number 147 is now showing us M Rolling. So there must be another amendment to programme that we need to pick up on. And no, still can't see it on that amendment to programme.
No, and at number 47 up and down the order, I can't see. So I'm guessing we're still going to go off Niall Bradley, that or it is rolling in Niall Bradley's car. So rumbling through the grass goes rolling and picking up all sorts of grass and dirt and, as you say, Mark, detritus into the intake of that car. We've had a bit of a moment there, unfortunately. That is for James Wilson heading in towards the final corner. What happened? Oh, slightly compromised by one of the boxsters, and in pure avoidance pitched the car over onto the grass when rumbling over the gravel. Thankfully, front-wheel drive car, the front wheels were still out of the gravel trap and managed to get that car squared away once again. But with 1 minute and 40 remaining, and the lap times he's been doing haven't quite been the right side of that, 1 minute 46. He's going on to his final lap of qualifying, albeit with a slightly compromised opening parts of that lap.
Matt Rolling is the answer to the question. So there we go. It was on another thing that had been sent to us, but it wasn't. But I couldn't find it on the amendments.
Is that Matt Rolling in Niall Bradley's car?
You can ask him that directly. I can't give you the answer. I can also tell you that Jake Severs is now not sharing with his father, Andre Severs. That is a solo car as well. Okay. So I've just picked up on that as a further amendment that's arrived over the course of this morning. So checkered flag is now about 60 seconds away. We've got our pole-sitting Ginetta, which is the number 96 car of Alistair Cook and Alistair Topley, just turning its way onto the Grand Prix loop now, so building the speed and the momentum once more. The pole time is a 1 minute 36.384, which is about a 1/10.5 of a second quicker than Matt Rolling has managed at the wheel of the number 147 BMW so far. Anybody else on quick laps this time through? Yes, I would say watch out for car number 38, Josh Brooks at the wheel of the Toyota Starler that you were talking about, who knows Brands Hatch well, does Josh. Better than he's previously gone through the first sector, quicker than he's previously gone through the second. Over the start-finish line he comes, and ultimately doesn't string the lap together. He's a little bit slower than he's previously gone. He gave up a lot of time in the final sector, so it didn't quite work for Josh Brooks in the end, so no improvement for him when I thought there would be.
Yeah, we've also got our current provisional pole sitter, Aaron Cook, and Alistair Topley in their Ginetta coming back towards the line, trying to pick and weave his way through traffic, slightly compromised, I think. Takes the checkered flag. Do we see an improvement to 36.384, a 39.178, so well and truly off the best he can do. He will be the next car to come over the line. James Wilson, does he improve? He remains in what is 13th place. No improvement from him in terms of position on that lap. Definitely no improvement in terms of lap time. Carl Chambers, does he improve from where he is? Yes, he does. Picks up a couple of places. So too does the number 6, that's being Jonathan Strickland. We said a bit more pace to be found, and he found about half a second at 1 minute 45.872 there from Strickland. We've also got the treble 3 of Simon Smale and Wendy Thorne. They've just crossed the line, picked up another couple of places. They worked their way up into 16th place, and Metin Yilmaz as well, sharing with Gabriel Yilmaz. They picked their way up into 17th place with a 1 minute 47.996. We are getting some good improvements by the looks of it from car number 27, Paul Cook. Let's see what he can do. He was personal fastest through sector 1, not quite so quick through sector 2. If he can nail sector 3, which may have been slightly plagued by some traffic and well and truly coming into the final corner, I don't think we will see an improvement, because the car that's there is John Wyatt, who peels his way into the pit lane. I don't think we will see that improvement from Paul Cook. Comes towards the line. He's currently sat in 4th place, a 39.993, a 39.933 his personal best. Yep, no improvement that time. Neither an improvement from Matt Rowling. But do we get an improvement from Jake Severs? Can't see him out there. I think he may already have headed towards the pit lane. Yes, he has.
Yep, so I think that's pretty much everybody through now to take the checkered flag. So let's just guide you through some of the times, at least. Pole position goes the way of the car of Alistair Cook and Alistair Topley, with Matt Rowling 2nd quickest in the end. Jake Severs was 3rd quickest, and 4th quickest was the number 27 car of Paul Cook. Pete Selden's BMW was 5th, and completing the top 6, it was car number 136, which is Oliver Smith. That was 6th quickest. 7th was the car of Oliver Fawler, with then William Lynch, their 8th quickest. Josh Brooks was 9th, and the Vauxhall was completing the top 10. The VX220 will start 10th in what is a very, very busy grid later on. You can see 37 cars, I think, set time over the course of that qualification session. A few cars not setting times may have had problems, but hopefully those problems could be rectified before we see them back out later on this afternoon for the WOSP new Millennium series and the Turbo Tin Top series, which will conclude our racing programme here at Brands Hatch over the course of this weekend. So beautiful conditions. It is now the lunch break as well, ladies and gentlemen, so please avail yourself of the mobile catering facilities that are around and about as well. The Kentagon is open, Halewood's Bar and Restaurant is open. We've got all of the mobile catering facilities as well, and do take the opportunity not just to wander around the paddock, but soak up the atmosphere with the Supercar Collective as well. A whole host of Ferraris, Maseratis I can see from here, Lamborghinis, Aston Martins, we spotted Porsches, I spotted the odd Lotus or two there as well. There's Audi R8s that I've seen amongst many